Well, hello. Thank you for tuning in. My name is George Caudill. I'm the author of Devil's Backbone, The Invisible Walls of 7 Mile. And I have a very special friend with me today in the studio. This is Bob Cole. I call him my friend from the field because that's where I met Bob. I met Bob in a field. I have 2 dogs that I just love chasing rabbits with. And every day we would go by in this field, and I noticed that this man was homeless, like there are many in the field. But there was something special about Bob. When I seen him, I walked over and I said, "What do you need?" And he said, "I don't need anything." He said, "I'm just privileged that you took the time to talk to me." And that really touched me. And I've got a real heart for the homeless because my mother was homeless. But what's so special about Bob is it's been over a year, and I called him up and I asked him for a favor. I said, "Would you do a part in our audio play, Devil's Backbone? Would you be a character for me, Bob?" And his response was, "I'd do anything for you, George. I owe you." And I just want him to kind of tell the story of how we met and how he was rescued with his friends in Colorado, and how they drove through a blizzard that night. But Bob, what did you think when I asked you, would you like to be a part of this production?
I was surprised, to say the least. I wasn't expecting any such thing as, like, I could actually return the favor that you had done for me. I really didn't expect to ever do anything for you that would be significant. And so I felt privileged to be asked to do something. And I managed to make it out here with the help of my friends. And it was a fantastic thing to get the opportunity to come do something different and enjoy this piece of work that you have come up with.
Well, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say that you were a star. You know, I kept telling everybody that you have such a strong voice. And when you got on the set, you proved that. I thought the interesting thing, though, was you couldn't stop laughing most of the time, so we had to keep retaking. But
it was fun.
That's great. You know, I just had so much fun with you. But what happened was Bob was in the field for many days, many weeks actually.
Yeah, I wasn't sure I was going to get out, as it turned out.
And you know, I was very concerned about him. And I was telling my wife, we got to do something for this man. And I would walk through the field and we would give him some water or we would give him some food. But I learned to trust Bob. I learned to love Bob and trust him very quickly. And I said, you know, I want to run my dogs. Take my phone, call your friends. We got to get you out of here.
And I had asked to use phones from people. People would ask me what I needed. I would tell them I'd like to use a phone. And there was a lot of good luck with that. And I never touched anyone's phone. And I was shocked when you handed me your phone. Like, really? You're going to let me use your phone? And that made a big difference in my life when you let me use that phone. It really did.
Well, I'm so glad.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that, you know, we connected that way. And, you know, we built an amazing friendship and things have went that way. But I remember the day that I said enough's enough. I had called your friend Roger and Christy back in Colorado, and Don, I think you went to work with him. What was the name of his restaurant?
Shallot's Restaurant.
Shallot's, that's right. So, you know, these guys, they love you so much. And
we're old friends. We really have known each other most of our lives.
I could tell that by the video we did earlier when we surprised you. But I think that the amazing thing was that these people were so willing. George, that's my best friend. That's my best friend. What can you do for him? I'm going to send you some money. I'm going to send you some money. Money wasn't enough for Roger. A blizzard in Colorado.
Yeah.
He didn't care. He's
holiday.
Coming to get you.
Yeah.
How'd that make you feel, Bob?
I was shocked. I was shocked that he would just drop everything and come through a blizzard in the holidays to come and rescue me, because that was what I needed, and he just stepped right up and did it.
And you know,
I was pretty amazed at what friends I have.
when I seen that, the friendship that you have, you know, many people in life, they go through life and they never experience that.
Yeah, I think that's true, George. I think I'm really privileged and blessed to have such friends for such a long time.
Well, you're very loved. There's no question about that. But you know, Bob thought that he was coming here and he was just going to do a part. But we had a great surprise for Bob. The friend that rescued him came along also, and they got to meet in the field, and they embraced, and we shed tears together, because it's an amazing story. And what happened was, the day that Bob needed to get out of the field or freeze to death, he was shivering so bad, I said, we're done. And I made contact and a plan with Roger, and Roger says he's coming to get you. And I said, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I said, I'm going to tell him that he's meeting me this afternoon. I'm getting him a hotel room, and I'm giving him $100, and he can go across the road and get him a steak. And Roger said, great. So Bob and I met that morning, and it was about 9:30, and I'm running my dogs. And I told him, you have your stuff at the road at 1:30, because I'm coming to get you, and we're getting you out of here. How did that make you feel?
I thought it would never happen. I still didn't believe it. Even though you had done everything that you had said you were going to do, you always did it. But it still was surreal that I might actually be rescued from this field. I really was having a hard time believing it, and therefore I was under a lot of stress. I really didn't know what was going to happen next. It was a tough morning for me. And then, of course, it got tough.
It did, and you know, if you want to talk about stress, well, what happened was, I told him we're meeting at 1:30, and I walked away from his camp, and I walked away from him. I maybe got like 10 yards away, and my dogs jumped a rabbit. And if there's a rabbit, they don't see nothing but a rabbit. And unfortunately, what happened was the dog took my legs out, and I hit my head, and I hit my shoulder, and I was unconscious. And I woke up with Bob over top of me saying, are you okay? Are you? And I could hear his voice, but I couldn't answer him. And then I finally come through and I said, yeah, I'm all right. I said, I broke my collarbone. I said, so if you could do me a favor and walk the dogs back to the park with me where I park, I said, I'd appreciate it. He goes, yeah, anything. He goes, man, you're not coming to get me. I mean, you were so stressed out. You forgot about being rescued. You were so worried about me. And I was like, dude, stop worrying about me.
I just immediately said, this rescue is postponed and we have to take care of you, and you wouldn't have anything, you wouldn't have nothing to do with it. You're like, no, we're rescuing you and then we'll worry about that. Absolutely. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it.
It didn't matter at that point. And I came home and I told my wife, I said, and my son Brandon, I said, I broke my shoulder. They said, well, we gotta get you to the hospital. I said, no, I gotta get a man out of the field first. And that's what we're going to do. So I got in the car, and if you remember, when I picked you up, I had one arm.
Oh, yes.
And I was getting one thing, and you were getting the rest, and you put it in the car. And I remember us going to the hotel, and then Roger and another friend, I don't remember his name, had showed up, and I could just tell that the reunion was so beautiful, and it meant so much to me. To see that reunion and to know that, you know, you're going to be okay, and you're doing great. And I just want to thank you for the amazing job that you did in Devil's Backbone. Right. I mean, applaud. We were applauding. Oh. And you know, our sound engineer, Brandon Lee, him and I make a lot of contact. And then the co-director, another co-director, Lisa Caudill, I just keep making eyes at them, and they're just smiling. And Brandon, well, let me tell you, when I know that you've hit a line, Brandon will do this. He doesn't nod, he doesn't do anything. He looks at me and he'll smile.
Okay.
And dude, you were nailing it.
Wow.
And then your friend, Roger, I couldn't stop laughing because he couldn't stop laughing.
Yeah.
And then here comes Christy, and here she's just a freaking natural. Oh, what part do you want me to do? Okay.
I was envious of Christy.
I know. We even said it's a hard act to follow. But you know, we're just so thankful.
And I just want to tell you both I love you.
Thank you, George.
And we love you too, man.
You made a big difference, George. You made a big
Thank
difference.
you guys. Thank
Well,
you.
I don't know what would have happened without you. I honestly don't.
Thank you. Thank you guys.
Yeah,
God
thank
bless
you,
you.
George.